Hello folks, got a nice little Casio to show you today. This is the Casio Worldtime. We'll go into what it's actually called and what people miscall it in a wee while, but here we are, Casio, 10-year battery, all the tags and stickers on it, looking all smashing. After a brief little interlude, what we'll do is we'll give you some measurements and weight. I can tell you this is a really light little chap, and then I'll give you a talk through the functions. And then after that, what we'll do is we'll talk about one little fault that I found with it, and it's a silly one. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, a quick interlude here. See this here, Casio Worldtime. That's what this watch is actually called. Well, it's known as. But the watch is a Casio AE-1200WHD-1AVEF. Now, I know that that isn't catchy. It's not catchy at all. So people have taken to calling this the Casio Royale. Now, why do you think they're calling it the Casio Royale? What do you think the James Bond connection is? This watch was not in Casino Royale, or indeed any other James Bond film. But if you look here, this rather unattractive Seiko was in the film Octopussy way back when I was a lad, and that is the dawn of creation. Anyway, for some reason people can see that they look alike, so people started calling the Casio Worldtime the Royale. Doesn't make any sense to me, and we're not doing it here. It's far too tenuous. Here's a quick still of what you get with the watch. You get the watch still in its sticky wrapping, you get the hang tag boasting the 10-year battery life, and you get a telephone directory, a user guide. Here we have the watch, a slightly closer view with all the plastic removed, and we'll go on to do the measurements. I have to zero this. Now, I'm not going to do my usual diagonal across because this is a square watch, so I'm just going to go the outer limits of the case, 39.62 millimeters, and the outer limits of the buttons, 44.3 millimeters. The lug to lug of the watch, try to get this right, 43.69 millimeters, and the thickness of the watch, 7879 millimeters. The lug width, I'm going to say 18 millimeters. 18 millimeters. But the width of the bracelet widens out quite considerably to 24.28 millimeters, and down to at the clasp it's 20 millimeters, 19.76 millimeters. We'll go weigh the watch now, trusty scale. Wait until it zeros, there we are. 85 grams. Having a closer look at the watch, the crystal is acrylic. The case is resin with a sort of matte aluminium finish, I expect you would say. There's quite a lot going on the dial. We've got Worldtime written at the top, Illuminator at the bottom, but the dial itself, the main dial, actually has quite a lot of writing on it. And up here in the top left, we've got an analog, an LCD analog display. The digital display below that, and this rather lovely world map which shows you the time zone that you're currently in. The bracelet It's very lightweight, and it's the biggest downside to the watch actually. These 1980s style folded metal links are quite light and flimsy. For some people find them to be hair pullers. I don't. I haven't found it uncomfortable in wear at all, and the lightweight's actually quite pleasant. The clasp is just stamped metal, signed by Casio there, and the only other legend on it's stainless steel on the inside here. Nothing wrong with it, works perfectly well. There's plenty of strap adjustment. You can remove links quite easily, and there's a fair amount of four positions of micro adjustment there as well, so you'll get a good fit with this watch. And with its very lightweight, it's extremely comfortable on the wrist. I'll briefly run through the functions of the watch now. We have the mode button, the adjustment button, the light, and the search button. Now the search button serves to move between time zones, as so. At the moment the watch is set on London time. That's New York City, Sydney, Madrid. What you can do is you can set 4 time zones to be searched through by this function here. So it gives you a multi-time zone GMT function, if you like. Going through the presses of the mode button, start off with the time, shows the world time, then the alarm time, your timer, your stopwatch, and back again. Now, you either like watches like this or you don't. It's very techy and gadgety and retro, and obviously lots of people like that a lot, and I quite like it myself. But one of the things about having a complicated watch like this is that it has a big thick instruction manual, so setting the watch up takes a little bit of doing, and there's a little bit of a learning curve. But my biggest problem with it is, and I'll show you in a minute, on wrist. Here we are wearing the watch. You can see how it looks. Quite handsome. Now you see these buttons that protrude quite a lot. As you flex your wrist, it is possible to engage the search button and change the time zone. Now the analog time zone remains the same, but that changes with every press of the button to the different cities. I like to wear my watch at night. I like watches with good lume or with lights on them like this one, so that during the night if I wake up I can tell what time it is by looking at my wrist rather than searching around a nightstand. If while you're moving around the covers or even your wrist, engage that button there, time zone changes. That's annoying. Other thing that's annoying is I'm used to Casio F91s and things like that, and I tend to reach for that button there for the light, whereas most G-Shocks and this one, the button's up here, so that's a pain as well. But in the middle of the night what you do is you press the button, see it with your bleary eyes, you can't tell immediately if you're on the wrong time zone, and therefore you're not getting an accurate read of the time. That's my only quibble with this. Apart from that, it's a nice, economical, very effective, gadgety little watch, and I love it. Come to like, comment and subscribe, Hamish.